easy to dream about selling at full retail price, moving truckloads of products and picturing the profits stacking up. And I'm not here to ruin that dream for you, I promise. But once you add in the true costs and the time it takes for cash to actually arrive, the economics of D2C and retail tell two completely different stories. And we need to talk about it. Hi, I'm Luca from CrossBridge. We help international and product brands break into the US and we run their operations behind the scenes. And today, I'll be breaking down margins, costs, and cash flow differences as part of our D2C versus retail series. Gross margin is the number everyone loves to brag about. It's simply the retail price minus the product cost. But net margin is what actually matters, and it's almost always smaller once you subtract ads, platform fees, shipping, deductions, and promotions. In D2C, you start at the full retail price, which feels really good, but then net margin gets cut by customer acquisition costs, fees, fulfillment, and returns. Whereas in retail, you start thinning right away because you're selling wholesale at around half of the MSRP. And then net margin gets cut further by deductions and trade spend. So if you stop at the gross margin and ignore net, you're sadly missing the real economics of your business. Cash flow is a simple rule maker. In D2C, you get paid in days. Shopify and Stripe show payments within a few days, while Amazon is usually bi-weekly. This allows you to recycle cash quickly into ads and inventory. In retail, you ship and then you wait. Net 30, net 60, sometimes net 90. You can be profitable on paper while your bank account is empty. And this is why retail without a cash flow plan is not a plan at all. One thing that is sometimes understated is initial inventory investment. The size of the upfront check is not even in the same league here. Your Shopify business, for example, can start lean. It's possible to launch with just 200 or 500 units, test demand with ads, and then reorder once you see traction. You can run small batches, try different price points, and then you can pivot quickly if something isn't working. Unsold products is still your risk, but the initial investment can be just a few thousands of dollars. In retail, the entry point is very different. The opening order isn't a small test. It can mean truckloads of products, not just a few boxes, and you're looking at a big check up front, often in the tens of thousands of dollars, all spent before you see a single payment back. And this is why inventory is one of the biggest barriers to retail. You don't just need to cover the cost of goods. You need capital to fund large production runs, packaging, shipping to distribution centers, and to hold extra stock in reserve just so you don't miss reorders. And if your calendar and your cash don't line up, the retail scale can become a significant business risk. So what we have here is a fictional example of the unit economics breakdown for a random $20 MSRP product. So starting with the revenue, you can see that D2C starts at $20 and retail starts at $10. And the reason is because it's wholesale. We're not yet accounting for retailers' markup that they will add later. Next, we have the landed cost, which includes manufacturing cost, ocean transport, domestic transport, and US tariffs. I put it at $5.8 for both categories. Next, we have payment processing. And here I put $0.8 simply because this usually includes platform fees from Stripe or Shopify, and these don't apply to retailers. Then we have fulfillment and last mile delivery and freight to distribution centers. Afterwards, we have customer acquisition costs or CAC, and I put it at $4. And this particular metric is really important because it really determines how profitable you are. I've said it here, but if CAC jumps to $7, this whole column goes negative. You basically lose money. And that's not the case with retail. Then we have returns allowance, which basically includes costs that come with customers due to customer dissatisfaction return the products back, or because of defects or damages or whatever. You can see in the retail side of things, we have trade spend, EDI and compliance, and OTIFs and deductions. And these are metrics and costs that are only and particularly exclusive to the retail side of things. This results in net profit per unit of $2.22 for both categories, both routes essentially. But as you can see, the cost structure is drastically different. It's It's also worth mentioning that when you're going direct to consumer, the payout is in days. When you're going with retailers, you ship now and you get paid in 60 days or 90. So hope this clarifies it. Matt tells us a story here, because on a good day, selling direct to consumer leaves you with more profit on each unit. But that profit can disappear quickly if your customer acquisition costs go up or if shipping gets more expensive. Now, selling to retail usually leaves you with less profit per unit, but the numbers can feel steadier if you've planned for trade spend, freight, and all the deductions that come with the process. The real difference isn't just margin percentage, it's about the gap between when you spend money and when you finally see it back. So direct-to-consumer moves faster, while retail moves slower and demands more at the start. If you want quick feedback, smaller starting batches, and the option to pause spending when something isn't working, direct-to-consumer gives you that flexibility. And if you want bigger volume and you're ready to tie up more money for longer, retail gives you the scale. Both paths can work and both can fail. It's not about picking the easier path, it's about preparing properly for whichever path you pick. So that's the economic backbone of D2C versus retail. Margins that look simple on paper, cash flow that either keeps you alive or chokes you, and inventory that can be either a small test or a massive upfront bet. And as always, if you like these videos, like and subscribe. It only takes a moment and it helps us grow the channel, because in the next one, we'll dive deeper into the hidden costs of US retail that quietly eat away those already thin margins. I'm talking about chargebacks, OTIF fines, deductions, and the trade promotions that no one warns you about, well, except us. See you in the next one.